good, everybody? My name is Jay Fatty. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about how to make boom bap beats that sound like they got samples, but they don't actually have samples. So let's get right into it. All right, I'm going to play you this beat, and then we'll talk about it.
Jay, this some bullshit.
Okay, so let's start with the drums. Pretty straightforward. We just got a nice kick snare pattern. And that goes into a bass with this percussion drum loop that just adds some extra hi-hat and some high end in the drums. This bass line is just following the root notes of this melody. And all this melody is just major seventh chords, essentially. So if we go into the main part of the melody, which is these keys. All I did was just go over to the stamp button and then grab the major seventh and just drop that in on C. And that gave me a C major seventh chord. And then I kind of just built off of that, using other major sevenths in that scale. So what I could do is I could take each root note of each chord and highlight it. So hold control and then hold shift while holding control and then left click each root note. Something like this, right? And then you could just hold shift and left click that and you can drag that down. And then you would have a bass line essentially. And that's pretty much what I did, but with different variations. And then you can actually, while doing that, do a control C to copy that pattern and then put it in a bass to have a bass line. But really the melody is just this. And then I did a control A and a control C to copy this over onto these saxophones and this bell. It's not the same pattern because what I did was, let's say, let me show you. If I go into this these keys and I copy this pattern and then I go to an empty pattern, what you can do is an Alt A to go into the arpeggiator and you can find a different top line melody. So you can mess with it. Mess with the time multiplier, mess with the pattern. I like flip, mess with sync, and then you can mess with these levels. But find something that's nice and that sounds good, and then edit it a little bit, and then you'll have a nice top line melody. And that's all I did with this. Really, it does help to just listen to a lot of other music to kind of hear what they're doing, especially old soulful music. If you're trying to make stuff that sounds like samples, listen to what they're doing and you'll kind of start taking note and picking up on that and then just adding it in your own creations. It definitely just takes practice for sure. But yeah, with those melodies just together, now we had the drums and bass. Now you got like a nice vibe. And to evolve it, what I did here was just copy that melody over, the main key melody, and just dropped it in a different sound. It was strings that I dropped it in, a contact string patch. And then I copied that top line melody and put it in another string patch. So it's just strings going here for the melody along with these keys. It really gives a difference in evolution compared to when these sounds are going, but it's the same pattern. You don't have to get crazy with it. You just got to think of, maybe I can use a different sound at this part. You know what I'm saying? So really get creative with it and think ahead and try to evolve the beat. Like I said, the pattern isn't changing, but the sound and the vibe does, and that's really what it's all about. And then also the percussion. The drums are kind of going as well, but these Vox one shots come in. And we heard these a lot at the beginning of the beat, and then when you do that, that really gives the listener like, oh, this is kind of cool. A bunch of Vox one shots going off in a rhythmatic way, and then you take it away for the verse or whatever, and then bring it back later in the beat. And it maybe don't bring it back in as much repetition, like this first intro part. If we play it, that part compared to this part, the difference there is there's just not much going on the second time the vocals come in. So maybe think of that as well. Add them back in later, but give them some variation and some difference. But essentially, it just repeats back into that same thing and then goes doubles. So it's nothing crazy, but once you establish the ace melody, you can really add on top of it just by copying different parts of the melody and adding it to other sounds, and then doing that Alt A to get that arpeggiator and really trying to get a top line or a counter melody to really make evolution happen in the track. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If this video brought you value, please leave a like, hit subscribe, and hit the little bell. Make sure you stay safe, stay striving, and always be getting it. Much love, y'all. Peace.